What's up, YouTube? I wanted to do a little review slash comparison of these two battery banks for the MagSafe battery banks for the Apple iPhone Air. I just recently got my Apple iPhone Air. I think this, or I guess it's the 17. Love this thing. Everybody kind of was a little worried about the battery on this. It has about 3,000 milliamp hour battery on that, and everybody's worried that that's going to be too little. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but I decided to get the MagSafe batteries for that. There's two of them. They're really good right now. They're small. They're the smaller, thinner ones. This size, it is about 1/3 of an inch wide, I believe. These two are about the same size. This is the iPhone Air MagSafe battery. It's $100. And this is the Anker Nano magGo Slim. It's about $50. They run promos and things, so it's kind of hard to compare apples to apples. What we can see is that the Anker is smaller. They're about the same width, about all the dimensions are the same, except the Apple is a little bit taller. The strange thing here is that the Anker is actually a larger battery pack. It is a 5,000 milliamp hour, whereas the Apple is only 3,149 milliamp hour, which is ironically and kind of funny, the exact same size as the battery pack in the iPhone Air. Now, the thing is though that because of the way they charge and the wireless charging is only about 65% effective. Even though it is the same size battery, it only powers it up about 65%. I actually did test that. I will put a photo, or I will put a image of the testing that I did on that up on the video, so you guys can see that. But basically what I did, I ran a test for about 1 hour and 45 minutes and to see what each of them did. In exactly that time, the Apple completely depleted its battery, and that added 65% charge to the phone. Whereas the Anker, after 1 hour and 45 minutes, it had added what did it add? Sorry, here it had added 82%. So a much larger amount of battery went in there. It looks like the Apple charged at an average of only 5 watts. They claim 12. The Anker was a little bit faster at 6 watts. So that's, again, better. So the other thing with these that I wanted to just show you guys is the difference in weight here. So I'll just toss the little scale. They're super close. It is actually only a 5% difference. The Apple is about 125 grams, 125.5. The Anker is 119 or 120 grams. Not a big difference there. So the weight is pretty negligible, but again, the Anker does have a slight edge. So the Anker is half as expensive. It holds more charge. It will charge the phone by about 25% more. Now that's only 17% on the battery of the phone, if that makes sense. So it's 25. It'll do 25% more than the Apple, but it will do 17% more on your phone, and it will do it faster. So it is smaller, it is lighter, it is less expensive, it charges faster, and it will charge more. So I'm having a hard time figuring out why anybody would ever want the Apple one. Also only comes in white, whereas the Anker has color options, and I don't know, I think this just looks better on there. As far as fitment, there's a little gap here at the top, and just a tiny little bit more at the bottom, but basically it feels the exact same in your hand. When you put it on, it charges, and then there is a battery indicator light. There's 4 little LEDs that indicate what your battery charge is on the bottom. Versus the Apple, yes, it does fit perfectly to there, but it's just bigger, so it feels the exact same. Yeah, it fills it up a little bit better, but is that a good thing? I don't even know. It doesn't really seem to make much of a difference. The only thing that the Apple has going for it here is that when you can swipe over to see the battery pack, so you have your iPhone there, you actually have your iPhone battery, and then you can also see exactly what percentage. That's kind of cool, but you know, if it's just sitting on the counter, it's almost better to be able to just see, okay, I have 2 lights out of 4. So I don't know, it's kind of a preference. Both of these are just USB-C. They can both charge something like 20 watts or so if you're charging them. Now, if you did, apparently the Apple, if you plug in the phone, you can, then it'll reverse charge this. I don't know why anybody really cares about which one of these two USB-C you plug into, so I don't think that's makes any sense. So ultimately, what I've decided is I'm going to return the Apple and keep just the Anker, because there's nothing that that the Apple one does any better. It's just larger, more expensive, and I'm kind of disappointed. I'm surprised. I expected Apple's usually pretty good at making things that even if on paper they aren't better, that once you actually put them in your hands are. But it's not. The Anker's better in every way. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.